What happens when two radio hosts decide to break free from corporate control and go independent? Well, if you're Dan McDowell and Jake Kemp, you get slapped with a lawsuit from one of the biggest media companies in the country. This is the story of the Dumb Zone, how two longtime Dallas sports radio hosts took on media giant Cumulus, fought back against a lawsuit designed to shut them down, and walked away victorious. But this isn't just about two guys in a podcast. It's a bigger fight, one that speaks to corporate control, creative independence, and the future of media. How do they go from radio stars one day to being at the center of a legal battle the next? For over a decade, Dan McDowell and Jake Kemp were two of the most recognizable voices on Dallas radio station The Ticket, part of the Cumulus media empire. Known for their sports humor and knowledge, legendary bits, and deep connection with listeners, they had an intensely loyal audience tuning in from noon to 3. But in 2023, things started to change.
The news, of course, that Dan and Jake no longer work at The Ticket, and that is correct. It has been correct, actually, for... what day is it? Is it 19 days?
I don't know. Can you see the calendar on your little baby phone?
It's a large phone.
McDowell and Kemp decided to leave The Ticket, reportedly due to behind-the-scenes frustrations with corporate management. Like many media companies, Cumulus had been tightening control over its talent, limiting creative freedom, and enforcing strict contracts. Soon after leaving, the duo launched their own independent and ad-free podcast, The Dumb Zone, hoping to reconnect with their audience without corporate interference.
Our initial thought is we're going to go behind a paywall, and some people are $5 a month for one podcast a week, right?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the most common setup, yeah.
So we're going to give you multiple behind a paywall, and we're going to start with $6.90.
What they didn't expect was how quickly Cumulus would come after them. Cumulus Media wasn't going to let them walk away so easily. They accused McDowell and Kemp of violating their non-compete agreement, claiming that the Dumb Zone was too similar to their former show and threatened their business. A classic David versus Goliath battle was about to unfold. Determined to keep doing what they loved, McDowell and Kemp wasted no time launching the Dumb Zone. It wasn't just a side project. It was their full-time commitment to bringing their brand of humor and insight to their audience without corporate restrictions. The response was overwhelming. Fans who had followed them for years flocked to the new show, proving that their voices mattered more than the platform they were on. But as the Dumb Zone gained traction, so did the scrutiny from Cumulus Media. The company saw the podcast as a direct threat, one that could undermine their grip on the local sports talk scene, and they weren't about to let that happen. Within weeks, Cumulus sent a cease and desist letter, demanding that the Dumb Zone shut down immediately. The reason? A non-compete agreement that supposedly barred McDowell and Kemp from working in audio media for a set period after leaving The Ticket. But here's the thing. Texas law is notoriously tough on non-compete clauses, and McDowell and Kemp knew it. Rather than back down, they decided to fight. The lawsuit from Cumulus was designed to bury the Dumb Zone before it could gain momentum. But instead of caving, McDowell and Kemp did what they do best. They talked about it. Their transparency turned the lawsuit into a public spectacle, with fans rallying behind them. Social media exploded with support.
But I did want to open up the old Twitter there, and let's just kind of go to the...
Dude, Dan is super stoked on the idea that we've been trending.
Who's trending for the... Oh, we're trending. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, just doing a
It's funny, I went and I paid my mortgage this morning with my trend check.
Oh, I didn't get my trending check yet.
It'll come tomorrow.
Okay.
The case quickly became about more than just one podcast. It became a symbol of corporate overreach in media. As the legal battle dragged on, McDowell and Kemp had a choice: fold under pressure or fight for their right to create. They chose the latter. For months, both sides went back and forth in court. Cumulus argued that the Dumb Zone was essentially a continuation of their old show, while McDowell and Kemp countered that they were simply exercising their right to work. Then, after months of legal maneuvering, the unexpected happened. Cumulus backed down. The two sides reached a settlement, allowing McDowell and Kemp to continue their podcast. It was a huge victory. Not just for the Dumb Zone, but for independent creators everywhere. The case set a precedent, proving that even against a corporate giant, creative freedom could win out. The battle between the Dumb Zone and Cumulus wasn't just a legal fight. It became a public spectacle. Listeners and industry experts alike weighed in, and most were siding with McDowell and Kemp. Fans saw it as a fight for creative freedom, while some media insiders viewed it as a warning shot to corporate radio. Even mainstream news outlets like the Washington Post covered the case, questioning whether non-compete agreements were fair in modern media. With the settlement behind them, McDowell and Kemp wasted no time in expanding their vision. They didn't just keep the Dumb Zone going, they launched No Puppet Productions, their own media company. Their fight wasn't just about one podcast, it was about proving that independent creators could thrive without corporate control. And in the end, they won. The victory of the Dumb Zone sent shockwaves through the world of independent media. Broadcasters, journalists, and digital creators saw it as proof that corporate media no longer had the monopoly on talent. With streaming, social media, and direct audience support, creators have more power and opportunities to earn than ever before. The days of being controlled by big networks are fading. So what's next for McDowell and Kemp? With the Dumb Zone thriving and No Puppet Productions growing, they've proven that independence isn't just possible, it's the future. They have built an incredible team, highlighted by superstar producer Blake Jones, and an ecosystem of entertaining recurring guests. This wasn't just a legal battle. It was a fight for creative freedom, a fight for the entertaining content that I personally listen to. And in the end, the right side won.